Hey there, friends. I have a couple more journals for the shop today. I've already visited with you once today, but here's another little visit. I had forgotten about making this journal. I made it the weekend of the royal wedding, and I sat it on my shelf and then kind of forgotten that it was even there. And then it was like the other day I was perusing some purple things and my eyes landed on this and I thought, oh my goodness, I don't think I put that in the shop. So this is Royal Purple. This is Pretty Pansy. So I will take you through these journals. Royal Purple is 4 3/4 by 7 1/4 by 2 3/4 on the spine. She does have a rather large, wide spine, and she weighed in at 3 inches when she was kind of packed to the gills. I love this fabric because it does remind me of royalty. It is a beautiful fabric, and I believe my art angel sent it to me. I did not have very much of it. There's something about purple. Purple was one of the hardest colors to gather enough material to dye in the Middle Ages. So anything that was purple was very revered, and that's why we see royalty wearing purple. That's her name, Royal Purple. She's finished off with some Czechoslovakian beads and some purple beads and pink. So I think that looks really sweet on her. I wanted the closure to be very classy, so it is. It kind of looks like a flower. It's very classy looking, very elegant, and that's kind of what I was going for in this journal. You'll see some of the papers that we've used before. These are the Moroccan collection that I had. Like I said, I made this about a month ago, and it was during the royal wedding. I thought I was going to have to work that weekend, and I didn't, because our festival was rained out, and so I got to watch the whole thing, and I thought it was quite sweet. I am an Anglophile big time, you guys. I love anything English, so to me, the royal family is very interesting. I do like English history, especially the period of course, Henry VIII and Charles II. Charles II to me was just a crazy, fascinating guy. I mean, he was known as a partier, and he had a lot of mistresses, but he never divorced his wife, and she could not give him children. And I also really love King Charles because of the King Charles Spaniels. When King Charles II died, his 17 dogs were with him, but none of his mistresses would come and sit with him. And at one point, he even asked his wife, hey, will you come sit with me? I don't think I'm going to make it much longer. And she said, since I've always disgusted you in life, I should not sit beside you as you're dying. So he was quite alone, except for his 17 King Charles Spaniels. This is a dictionary page. This is from the, what was that called? It's a law encyclopedia, but it was called something else. The law something, I can't remember. But I love dictionaries, and to me, having something that deals with the law as a dictionary is super cool. This is also an old dictionary page. Some papers for you to play with. This is some ephemera from 1866. I believe it is a receipt for payment of some taxes. This is 1876, the Three Musketeers. This is 1836. The brittleness of these papers is really evident, y'all, so just be careful as you're getting them out to play with. This is just chock full of so many possibilities for cards. That was another lesson in my how to use a flow journal. The opportunity for you guys to have all this card stock to make cards. This is a sweet vintage card that says, on Father's Day, to a pop who rates ace high with me, the best in all the land, I'm right on deck to give you a great big lucky hand. This is from the children. We Love You Daddy, HJ, which we know is Henry, and O, which is Oscar. And it is signed 1951. It's very lovely. Another vintage card for you. Another vintage card as well. I love using like a smattering of vintage cards because you can really get a sense of a timeline. This is from Esther in 1964. This is from the Blythes. Ye ken, they wrote down at the very bottom. This is one of the postcards that was sent to, was the hospital in Connecticut? Yeah, the Department of Medicine, Hartford Hospital, Seymour Street, Hartford, Connecticut. This is when, people from the staff would travel. The hospital I'm visiting has no air conditioning, and the nurses wear white caps like the U.S. 50 years ago. So I even left the tape up here because I can see that, taped to the break room wall as people traveled and sent postcards back to their co-workers during that time. This is a tag for you to alter or play with. Elephants. I love elephants. So I took out a hunk of this and I will be using it in my own journals. I love this little card. It says, you make me happy. These are our magazine pages, y'all. I thought that they also had like a very Moroccan-ish kind of feel going on. Love the purple. I was really going for the purple. Very inspired by the wedding. Though there was no purple at the wedding. But it was a beautiful wedding with Harry and Meghan. More papers for you guys to play with. These are some stickers that feature birds. I love her. She said it's Grace right there. I thought that was very sweet. One of my business cards. Maybe that will inspire you to make your own business card, and you can do that. I've got an instructional video about how to do that. More Purple Man. If you're into purple, this is the journal for you. This is baked ham slice with mustard sauce. I think that these recipes are just extraordinary. The recipes are old. They have been backed on new scrapbook paper. Love the colors in this. I love cages. The empty cage, the birds in a cage. I think that's it's just a beautiful image. We've got a bit of cooking ephemera for you. A peach and berry salad, grapefruit and almond salad, orange luncheon salad, and here is an illustration. My mom and I were talking about the black and white illustrations that were so prevalent back in the 50s and the 60s. This is a modern stove. I think this is a publication from 1983. Some garden magazine pages for you guys to peruse. I went to the veggie stand today, and our garden is coming along really nicely. It's always fun to stand at the veggie stand and look into our garden and see the tomatoes ripening. I mean, a lot of them are still green now. Oh my goodness, we had the best fried green tomatoes when I was at Mom's house. We went to Nellie's to eat. Robot, love. Downtown in Belmont, and we had fried green tomatoes. We had pimento cheese. What else do we have? Oh, I know, an appetizer of fried okra. Oh my gosh. I've got some fabric for you guys to play with right here. More fabric, this time with a butterfly. She's so sweet and pretty. Another piece of ephemera. This is from an old bead book. Some sewing ephemera. some pattern paper right here. Not pattern paper, but this is from a book of patterns right here. More purple, a hold tag, a little girl in a wedding dress. Wonder why that was in there. More fabric for you to play with. Treasure these precious moments. And then a pocket that has some lace in it right back here. I'll have royal purple in the shop a little later on today. Again, it's Monday. I did finish some of these journals. Kind of got them to a finishing point last week before I left to go see Mom. I really dig this Pansy material. I think it's very, it's vibrant, it's fresh, it says spring, it says summer. I love the colors in it. It is finished off with a beaded spine that includes blues and purples, some metal beads, and these really gorgeous, like, purplish beads down at the very end there, and Czechoslovakian beads as well. She's finished off with the Tim Holtz number 20. And let's just take a look here and see what we have. I love this sentiment, never stop growing. It's always humbling to go visit my parents now. As they age, I don't know what to think of it. I'm aging as well. I know that that is a fact of life. I know that they will make their transition into non-physical, and probably, and of course, sooner than later. My mom does great. My dad is a little off his game. He's been off his game since he had a car accident about 3 years ago. These pages were awesome, you guys. They feature Arabian horses. They're just so gorgeous. I think these are from National Geographic. I love the colors. I love the textures that you get on these pages. I love the juxtaposition of the pages. National Geographic is just a beautiful magazine. We've got a pink elephant for you and some Prima flowers. A little bit of bling in case you might want to bling up that elephant and put it on something. A vintage postcard from Piccadilly Circus. Again, I'm passing along some of my art love to you guys. This is an original piece from one of my art journals. It's a boho life, free spirit. It sure is. Or if you're like me, it's a freelance life. I think I'm going to start a new blog and call it Freelance a Lot. My motto last week was, you can't scare me, I'm a freelancer. You can't scare me. These are some vintage text pages. A beautiful magazine page that features flowers. There is a lot of pink and a lot of purple in this little book that kind of harkens to the cover, of course. Love the old Agatha Christie books. Bach. I love this picture here. This pocket is filled with Project Life cards. I think there are some skinny books and mini books in here as well. Lovely image here. A hold tag. Good Vibes, and behind Good Vibes is a pink piece of fabric that has butterflies on it. I think these are game pieces right here. The 1960 Adele's DIY book, a flashcard. My tea-dyed and coffee-dyed efforts. I hope you guys enjoy them. This little crinkly thing right here is where I hang these papers on my baker's rack that sits on my back porch. That is how I dry clothes. In the summertime, we are very frugal here, so anytime we cannot turn on an appliance, it is left off. This says life is beautiful. Getting back to Mom and Dad, we're in, you get in this funny place where you're needing to tell them kind of what to do and what not to do. But my mom, like I said, my mom is really sharp. My dad has to be, we have to remind him, hey, don't answer the telephone. Don't talk to strangers, which is what he taught us when we were growing up. Hey, don't talk to strangers. But now we have to go, hey, now don't talk to strangers on the phone. This is a vintage greeting card. I believe this is for you, Mother, at Christmas, your son, 1966. This bag is full of elements for you to play with. There's plenty in here to do a boho bead or to do a little sewing project. Just tiny little scraps for you to play with. I'm doing pretty good, right? With my, this is vintage typing paper, and I thought it took the tea dye and copy dye really well. This is another piece of original art. Life is hard sometimes. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to rest. I think that we don't remember that, and we just try and go balls to the wall, excuse my language, but we do, you know, especially if we're women. I tend to work about 12 hours a day. I don't think that's right. I think that I need to not do that, but it's really hard to try and get you know, the house managed and the meals managed and the business managed, and to work my part-time jobs as well. But we really do need time for ourselves. And my sweet friend Leanne, I am going back to listen to her Creative Week videos. I always link Leanne in my See These Other People for Inspiration in my description box. She does this thing called Creative Week, where every week she reviews how her creative path went. And, you know, she's a whole lot younger than me, but she was talking about that in one of her Creative Week videos. This is a little bit of travel ephemera. You've got maps in here, a little travel brochure, Project Life card that has an airplane on it, and this is one of my original drawings. It's a little fish right there. And the fish reminded me of sailing and going places and how much I love the beach and I love the ocean and I want to get there. It's quite a trek from here. It's not really that far away, it's just the traffic is really bad. Really bad. But I want to go to the beach. This is a postcard that says magical, the word hope, more of the mushroom hallmark playing cards, which I just love, love, love. This is a little pocket that has a playing card inside. This is a pocket that says be inspired, and it's got all kinds of pretty papers in here. These are little chipboard pieces for you to play with, maybe make someone something very special. Lots of beautiful papers. Vintage sheet music. I love, there was something about the colors of this against the vintage sheet music that I love, and then I also adore this cage against the vintage sheet music as well. So you could do something with a collage, maybe on one of your bookmarks that you have in here, or, you know, make yourself an ATC out of this kind of cardstock. That would be super cool. Again, I think this is a postcard from Holland, and Monopoly money right here, and the word courage. I hope you guys enjoyed this sneak peek at these journals. Again, I will have them in the shop a little later on today. It is Monday, so 4 new things going in the shop today. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for always listening to me ramble. Thanks for listening to me chit-chat about my life and my mom and dad and my dogs and my cat sitting job and my farm job and all the things that I just tend to ramble about. Thank you guys for being my friends. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful Monday, y'all. Bye.